Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to take the day to talk about Battlefield 2042. Yesterday they had the EA Play event and we saw a bunch of trailers, but Battlefield announced and revealed their brand new mode, Battlefield Portal. Now I think it's a pretty big deal. I seriously think this could be one of the best things we've seen an FPS game add since the addition of Battle Royale. I think there's so much room for creativity with this Battlefield Portal mode that it's going to change the game quite literally. So earlier this week, I actually got to sit down for an early access presentation, and they kind of revealed a bunch of details regarding Battlefield Portal. They went really in depth, but to be honest, I kind of got like tuned out a little bit. Around halfway through it, I just kind of got lost because there's so much going on. But that's because this Battlefield Portal mode is a community driven space for anybody to create any kind of game mode, custom game modes, basic game modes. The room for the potential here is essentially limitless. It's extremely cool, especially because the player limit now on each team in Battlefield 2042 is up to 128 players. So just with that knowledge alone, custom games, you can create your own modes. You can have up to 128 people on each team. And we're going to get into the details today in case you didn't hear about Battlefield Portal, like what you can really do with this mode. But the potential, it's there. This is like a dream when it comes to creativity and what you can do. It's limitless. Just as an example, a couple of other games out there that are doing what Battlefield Portal will serve as is, Fortnite Creative. Fortnite Creative has taken Fortnite way beyond Battle Royale. There's so many ways to play Fortnite without even actually having to play Fortnite. Death runs, just they almost create stories in Fortnite Creative, which is really cool. But Fortnite's not my cup of tea, which is why I'm happy to see it come to Battlefield. But you can do anything. Little Big Planet, this is another game that did an amazing job at taking it to the next level with their community. Obviously, it's not a first-person shooter, but as a kid, the community was able to create challenge modes. I remember I'd always be playing up until like 2 in the morning. Survive the nuke. It was like bombs flying out of the sky left and right, and you had to survive. And honestly, that would be possible in Battlefield. 100 planes flying over the battlefield and you have to be the last one to survive. Like, there's so many crazy things you could do with this. So I'm gonna get into Battlefield Portal and kind of explain what it is and just where I see the potential of this mode in a second. I've actually never played a lot of Battlefield games growing up, so I'm kind of just as new and fresh to this scene as some of you may be, and so there's no need to be overwhelmed. It kind of is overwhelming though, because when you got like a 10-year long community of people who are diehards of a franchise, it can be kind of intimidating. But I feel like this mode's going to be something that brings it all together. So as of right now, we know that Battlefield 2042 has 3 distinct modes. We still have to learn about Hazard Zone, which is their second mode. We'll hear more about that soon. But essentially, it's going to be a very competitive, smaller squad-based, very tactical type of playstyle environment. It's going to be very competitive, which I like because sometimes I want to get serious. Then we have All Out Warfare, which is, their conquest modes, typical Battlefield stuff. It's just very relaxed. It's casual, and you go in, you shoot some people, you have some fun, and you play some games. But then we also have now Battlefield Portal, which is the creative space for anybody and everyone to create their own game modes. And it gets very deep in terms of how you're able to do it. So this is Battlefield's exact description on what Battlefield Portal is. They said, this experience is a love letter to Battlefield fans and one that longtime players will feel right at home with. Now, I think they could have described this better because honestly, as someone who missed out on a lot of Battlefield, yeah, it's a love letter. I feel like a love letter is something that only, older fans will be able to appreciate. But I really think this is something that everybody's going to be able to appreciate because I never played those games, but now all of them are being brought back to 2042. So it's all in one universe that I can now experience as a whole, which is, I'm excited. So inside Battlefield Portal, I'm gonna be honest, this is the part of the presentation where I started to fall asleep. Like, it felt like I was in school because it was so complex. But the builder is essentially a modifier that allows you to choose preset game modes that already exist in Battlefield and kind of like go from there, customize from there, or you can start off from a completely custom standpoint and make a game mode from scratch. So you can create these game modes. They actually have the option to create modes from your iPad, which is really cool. So you can adjust settings and everything from there. But then there's the next step, which is getting into the game logic. And it's a web tool that you'll be able to sit down at your computer and create modes from. Once again, I'm not trying to bore you guys with this stuff. It's the possibilities of what you're able to do. Like, I'll just read off a couple of things that they said you can change in Battlefield Portal. They gave me this presentation sheet. You can change the factions, so you can choose which soldiers, weapons, and vehicles can compete on the battlefield. So you could have one team with Battlefield 2042 weapons and one team with weapons from Battlefield 1942. Like, that's just kind of cool, right? It's like old school versus new school. You can restrict certain weapons, so one team can use like only RPGs and the other team can use only knives. Like, just imagine 128 players versus 128 players, knives versus RPGs. Like, tell me that just doesn't sound fun and you don't want to try that out. You can even customize the mobility of characters in the game. So let's say you want to do 4 players versus 128 zombies. You could make it so 128 people couldn't sprint. So it's truly like you're playing zombies. Now, if you were to get into the logic editor, say you wanted to actually get on the computer and start, getting really detailed with the modes you're creating, you can customize it down to the bullet velocity on the weapons you use. You could make it so bullets take an extremely long time to travel, or they're almost hit scan. Like, you can almost create a completely different game. Like, you're just breaking every boundary of what the developer's base game has been made to be. Now, the part that I like is that they said you can even set victory conditions. Now, as a kid, I'm sure a lot of you guys played some of the older Call of Duties like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops. It was really popular in those games to play custom private match type modes. People would create games like Michael Myers. Michael Myers was one of my favorites. You would have one guy on one team, Michael Myers, and you'd have 10 people on the other team. And Michael Myers would run around and try to kill everybody, and he gave you a little bit of time to hide. Now, if you got killed by Michael Myers, you were dead. But no one was actually allowed to kill Michael Myers until you were the last man standing. And then it became a 1v1 knife off. And it was just so much fun. It just brings back so much nostalgia. And honestly, those modes are what make games special. It's being able to play the way you want to play, playing with friends. A lot of games that I play, like Apex, Warzone, they're very sweaty and you're very restricted in terms of how you can play the game. I think that falls under the setting of battle royale, but it gets extremely stale quickly. Quite frankly, I just don't feel like trying hard 24/7. If I'm going to be trying hard all the time, at least let me try hard in ways that'll make me laugh, that'll keep me entertained. And so that's why I truly feel like Battlefield Portal is going to be something special. I think it's something that could live on for a very long time, because as long as the community's there and they're making new stuff, I don't see how it could ever actually die. Now, just to quickly touch on what Battlefield 2042 is going to include in Portal, because at the end of the day, this is an empty sandbox. And if it doesn't have much saying, you're not going to be able to create much. But they got 7 maps from All Out Warfare, in addition to 6 classic maps from previous games. Once again, I never played Battlefield, so these are kind of just names to me. But we got Battle of the Bulge and El Alamein from 1942, Battlefield 1942. We got Africa Harbor and Valparaiso from Battlefield Bad Company 2. And we got Caspian Border and Nosahar Canals from Battlefield 3. Hope I said those right. They also have 40 plus weapons, 40 plus vehicles, and 30 plus gadgets from older games. And that's not including any of the new stuff that Battlefield 2042 is also bringing into Portal. Now, I know I keep saying it, but I'm going to say it again. The amount of creativity that this allows for, the endless amount of different game modes and possibilities is just outstanding. Like, I've been waiting for this, especially with a first-person shooter game that's realistic. It's what we want, and I think it's going to be great. Another game mode that I thought would work perfectly in Battlefield Portal is hide and seek. About 2 years ago, when I first started YouTube, I used to play Black Ops 4. I used to post a lot of Black Ops 4 videos, and there was a YouTuber who went by the name of No Game 4321, and I always used to watch his videos. he made hide and seek tournaments inside of custom lobbies in Black Ops 4, and they were amazing. They're super entertaining, really fun to watch. And you would be able to do that in Battlefield 2042, but just on a much larger scale. Like I said, 128 people per team. Now, how big you'd want to go with it, that's up to you. Now, I know a lot of the game modes I'm talking about creating aren't exactly competitive, but that's not to say you couldn't create new competitive modes in Portal. As a matter of fact, Battlefield has announced they already have preset modes they plan on making, so they could bring back older experiences for people to re-experience. I feel like I've been ranting for a little too long now, but essentially I just think Battlefield Portal is going to be a really special creative space that's constantly evolving and being added to. This is a live service game. All the stuff we've talked about today is on drop, so that's just like the foundation of what's to come. And as long as people are playing and there's a community and people are making new stuff, I don't see how something like this could ever really die. I think it's just up to Battlefield to execute it properly from the start for it to actually be successful. Just to wrap things up, I know I've said a lot of positive things today about Battlefield. I'm not trying to sound like some Battlefield stan. I'm not being paid to say this or nothing. I just think from a surface level looking at it, it's got a lot of potential. And a game that I play more than I probably sleep is Apex. And, you know, looking at it alongside Warzone and some of the other bigger games right now, I just feel like developers have this extremely large weight on their shoulders to live up to the expectations of the communities of their games, to deliver new content on a consistent basis. And once it's released, it's instantly back to the drawing board. Like, what are we going to do next? And that's where I feel like community driven portions of games can really help lift the weight off developers' shoulders. Because if the community is creating what they want to create, then they could focus on what they want to create. And those two mixed together is more content than I think anyone can probably ingest. Creates a healthier game. It creates a smarter community of players who understand the limits of what devs are even able to do. And the developers don't have to burden the weight of unattainable and undeliverable expectations that just can't be met. They're able to just work at their own pace. So that's Battlefield 2042 Portal. I think it's going to be great. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of what I said today. Just thought this was really worth talking about because I think it's got a lot of people excited. If you guys enjoyed, you made it to the end, leave a like on the video. Comment down Banana Gang, okay? Banana, like, you know the fruit? Banana Gang down in the comments if you made it to the end so I know who you are. I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Peace out.